You are looking live at a daily chart of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which was down 58 points today, or 0.14%. The volume today was 16% below the 50-day average volume. So it's just a quiet day. A little bit of profit taking after, yesterday's big gains. And the dips are being bought in this market when you see the indexes and a lot of those leading stocks, sell off here at the open and then they just bought them right back up. And so just a digestion of gains here on the Dow Jones Industrial Averages, which is, just really one of the stronger indexes here at 0.8% above its 10, 3.5% above its 50. Like I said, it just had a quiet inside day today, just a very small daily range. The SPY, similar action here is breaking out of a shelf type pattern here on Wednesday. And then the pullback today was just, like a quiet inside day. And that's just a little bit of digesting of gains. And that's real healthy for this market. It was, down, 0.18%, not a big deal at one point. If I go to the weekly here, you can just see that it's 0.3% off its high. Man, it had a 3 weeks tight. And then, like I said, made a new high. What is it, yesterday? Yeah. So this SPY is very strong. Those two indexes, the Nasdaq, a little bit behind. If I go to a daily chart of the Nasdaq, this is digesting gains. Just a quiet day here. The volume was a little higher in the Nasdaq today. It was down, what, 9 points, 0.05%. Just a quiet day, kind of a tight daily range, but the dips are being bought. If I just go to like a 5-minute chart, you can see here how, gap down at the open on the, I guess it doesn't need a reason, but, the inflation data was a little odd, I guess. Not a big deal. So it did sell off. And then what happened is the gap lower and it just got bought right back up. Like buyers just came right in, bought it right back up. And yeah, it closed slightly lower, but 10-point loss after the big gains from earlier in the week, especially on Tuesday was up 259, yeah, and on Wednesday 108. So, a little bit of profit taking, 10 points. Not a big deal. I'm going to get to some of those leading stocks here in a minute, but I am going to take a look at these indexes here. The IWM pulled back to the 50 today, and it just closed at, more than 0.5% lower. I want to take a look at yeah, gap down, and then it just got bought up. Nice, high volume close there for the small caps. Anyway, I'm going to get to the stocks because I like buying and selling stocks. And Apple, above its moving averages. Once again, just a quiet day on light volume. Apple's had real light volume here recently as it just trades sideways. And there was a conflicting report once again this morning that the iPhone 16 doesn't have the demand that was expected. And, we'll find out later. Yeah, just got to wait. Microsoft pulled back to its moving average and just kind of squatting here back to the 200. So that's not good, but it's just consolidating within a base, and longer term, I'm sure Microsoft is going to be fine. Amazon now above its moving averages here today. It was up a dollar, buck and a half, or almost 1% here. And you can see that right now it's more than 4% above the 50 there. So, and it's nearly 1% above the 10. So Amazon is looking better here as it bounces. Google, they're having problems with the spin-off. They're probably going to spin off, I don't know, maybe YouTube. I don't know what they're going to do, but they will probably force a spin-off. And it'll probably be healthy for the company. A lot of companies that have spun off businesses recently have done really well. The first one that comes to mind is GE. Meta has kind of been benefiting from the troubles with Google. This one just pulled back to its 10 today. And we've seen this a lot lately, like when they wedge back here to a moving average in light volume, and this is whisper light volume, then they bounce. But we're coming up on earnings next week. I know we got Netflix reporting earnings, so there might be a little pause ahead of the earnings. But we'll just have to wait and see and play it one day at a time. Tesla, they have this robo-taxi day today. I don't know. We have robo-taxis here in Arizona. It's called Waymo. And I don't know if this is going to be a big, sell the news or it's going to be a big event. It's up a little bit after hours, but we'll have to wait and see what Elon has to say about the robo taxis. And anyway, it was a good day for hardware. It was a good day for software. Even, I've got to go to some of the China bounced a little bit here, trying to stabilize around the moving average. That's the FXI, and then the K-Web is another index ETF, should say, of the over internet index, just pulling back and now trying to stabilize here. So that one looks fine as well after this big explosive move. You get a little bit of profit taking this week. That's to be expected. A couple of the other China names, JD, yeah, bouncing off the 10, not bad. Futu, which has been one of the stronger ones, still sold off. Where did this one close? Looks like, yeah, just a tick below it. It's 10. And then another one that I like here is this one. Yeah, it's 1.7% below the 10, but way above the 21. Anyway, that's it for the China stocks. I'm going to move on because I want to get to the, like I said, the hardware and the software names are doing pretty well today, despite, the little bit of weakness in the index. This is Impinj PI is the ticker, and this one broke out and just surfing its moving averages. So this is a semiconductor fabulous name in there with NVIDIA and Qualcomm and ALAB and ARM. And since I'm mentioning ALAB, they announced new products yesterday. They blasted higher. And then tacked on gains today was up 15.5% yesterday and tacked on 8% today. And that's what you want to see. And it closed at the high of its daily range. That's a nice hammer candle. Got to look at the weekly here. Yeah, that is nice. Up by 26% this week. I like stocks trading near their moving averages. This one's, 19.2% above its 10, but definitely got to like that move there for ALAB. ARM, I mentioned that one as well. And this one, I like this stock. I think this is ready to, it's actionable right here with that buy point at 149.93. It's just right there at a standard buy point out of that cup with handle. There it is. So ARM looks pretty darn good to me. And just forming this little shelf here. Yeah, that's probably going to go on the ready list here soon. And some other networking stocks, not just the semiconductors, Arista Networks, straight up from the bottom, now just ripping higher. That one looks so strong. I was wondering if it was going to have problems with the 400 number, and it doesn't look like it's going to. We'll have to wait and see, though. It could pull back under it easily, back to its 10 in a day, no problem. MU, Micron, another hardware name. Now, this one's bumping up against its 200. We'll see what happens here. SMCI rallied and then hit its 50 and then got rejected. You could see that the Matambo treatment on Tuesday, tried to rally up Wednesday, another Matambo treatment on Thursday. So SMCI, that's why, these buying below these moving averages, especially when they're downtrending, there's just a lot of work to do, a lot of resistance because there's going to be sellers. All these people here who bought, in here are underwater. And if they get back to even, they're going to sell. So that overhead supply is a problem for those stocks. Anyway, that's enough for the hardware names, the networking. I'm going to get to some more software and some other tech names later, but I want to move to the oil and gas names because ExxonMobil was upgraded today. This thing looks fantastic. It just traded down to its 10 and found support Wednesday and bounced today. So that's a nice looking chart there for ExxonMobil. Down on the week, but yeah, you can see the base on base on base, and eventually that thing's going to break out one of these nice days. A couple other stocks I like in the group that are, floundering around. Just they, this one is Frontline FRO straight up from the bottom, now pulled back to its 10, but this thing I like it above the 25 33 area. Got some work to do, but it bounced off the 10 nicely. Fang is another one that I like straight up off the bottom of that double bottom base. straight up, pulled back the last couple sessions, but still it's way ahead of its 10 EMA. So that 10 EMA's got to catch up. Yeah, it's 2.5% above that. WKC is a refining stock. You can see that the group is 184 out of 197. But this one's, wedging back to its 21. We've seen this a lot lately. And when they do this, a lot of times they find support and bounce. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this one bounce above that old high there at 31.70. So that one looks pretty decent. CLMT is another one, a refiner. And this one you could see obviously setting up with this cup and starting to form a little handle here, or a little shelf, if you will, as it rallied off the 21 and now forming a shelf here. You can see this wedge pattern back to the 21, then the pop. All right. Oh, and CNX is the Kelly Slater stock of my oil and gas stocks, CNX, and you can see it's just rips higher and then pulls back, rips higher, and it's allowing the moving averages to catch up. So I wouldn't be buying it here, but it's just a really strong stock. All right, I'm going to go to the drug stocks because this stock, ADMA, has been on my leading stock list, and I owned it up until yesterday, and I just got lucky is what happened, because I was watching it on Wednesday, and it made a new high here, which was great. And then all of a sudden it just sold off into the close, which is very peculiar action for this one. And I don't like to be greedy, and this one was breaking, out of this little shelf pattern, and it made a high and reversed, and it closed at the low of the session. So somebody knew something. Today they came out, the auditor resigns, and that's a red flag. It's just adios, muchachos. You got to avoid stuff like that. You cannot afford to sit in there like Giga Cloud Technology and Supermicro. I mean, when you ever hear anything like that, just Wall Street's going to shoot first and ask questions later. So this thing sliced its 50, so that would be a sell rule if I still owned it. And if you look at the weekly, look at how many weeks it undercut. It traded below, many, many weeks of gains here. And so when the stock does that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks since that, I guess that's the earnings gap higher when it was down to 10, but it took out all of them today, traded down to what, 1567. This week was the lowest 1588. So it even undercut all that work. And so you just got to stay away of any sort of investigations or accounting issues. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. There's too many other quality stocks out there. So moveon.org. Okay, CRT. This is Corcept Therapeutics broke out. It's pulled this little wedge pattern here once again, toggling back and forth here. Sorry about that, but just little flag pattern as it pulls back to its 10 EMA. That one looks pretty good. Lilly, is obviously, the king of the weight loss, just consolidating in this little, I guess that would be a flat base pattern. Yeah, that's a flat base pattern. And just trading tight within the base, above the moving averages. Lilly looks fine. And then the last one, this one had news, I think Tuesday morning, and this thing's just been on a roll. This thing's what, from like three or $4 up to 55. So congrats to the longs there. That's been a hell of a move. All right. The software names I did mention, the hardware and software were big winners today. AppLovin, this one's just, one-way stock, surfing the moving average. Just a leader. Palantir, another gain today. This one pulled back to almost to its 21 recently and just popped higher. Now it's way above its moving averages. CHKP, the cybersecurity names, were on fire today. Big volume move here. CrowdStrike also now, down from that 200 above 300 now. So it's a 50% move, and it's got a gap to fill here at 352, I believe. Yeah, 352.20. So it's got a ways to go. 302 there, that nice little That's a nice little base there. On this move up, pull back to the 21, and then rip higher. How often have we seen this recently? All right. Enough of that. Z-scaler. Did I mention Z-scaler? I think I did. Anyway, yeah, nice pop today. Got to get above the 200. And Palo Alto Networks was upgraded today, I believe. Yeah. And this one's still forming a base. You can see on the weekly here, it's got some work to do, but it looks nice within the base. You can see that pullback on the weekly. And probably a break, yeah, above that downtrend line here recently here. Yeah, probably last week. Definitely looking good here on Palo Alto Networks. Last three sessions have been phenomenal. And then Monday looks good as well. And once again, that that wedge pattern. This one wedged back to its 50, and now we got this little one here to the 21, now popping higher. That looks fantastic. VRNS, another software database name. This one's got the cup with handle pattern. This one looks good. That may appear on the ready list as well. We'll see here. Tomorrow's Friday, but can always have a lotto play for Friday. This is net. This one's popping. I was going to put this one on this morning, but I didn't. It was up 8%, so shame on me. But I like that 80, 87, 18. Then it traded above it, then pulled back, wedged back to the 50, got support and bounced here. And then now it's, kind of extended. So forget that idea. On to the next. I'm not going to chase stuff. 10% above its 10 EMA. So anyway, just showing you some strength here. Here's some more tech stocks that are, this is the electrical miscellaneous product stock. This is Interdigital. You can see the breakout from that flat base pattern. Now it's surfing its moving averages. The glowworm, GLW, Corning had just an inside day today, but you can see if I got this right color here, it'd probably work out a little better. This cup with handle on the pullback to the 21 and then popped yesterday. Had an inside day today. That looks pretty good. ZBRA is zebra. Once again, got that wedge pattern back near its 21, not quite, but got that 372 standard buy point. That one looks pretty good as well. CLS, this one was a super strong stock recently. You can see it made this big move, from the 25 area up to 63, and now it's just consolidating in this little box pattern, this little base here. Straight up from the bottom, from 40, up past 60, just went right through the 50. Hammer candle today looks pretty good, but, I kind of like to see it pull back a little bit near its MA before I take a swing. All right, I've got to get to some of the restaurant names. It's really strange phenomenon here, folks. The restaurant names are strong. This is Shake Shack, had it on the ready list, traded back to its 10, and it popped today. Excuse me, it traded back to its 21 this morning, and then popped. But we're seeing the restaurant stocks do well. We're seeing the travel leisure stocks do well. The cruise lines, which kind of, people are going out to the restaurant, they're taking cruises, they're taking trips, they're spending money. But also you got some stocks like DoorDash doing well. So people are staying home and ordering. So it's kind of a I don't know, it's a bull market, I guess, So anyway, I'm going to go through some of these. CAVA, obviously a leader in the restaurant group. I like that 131. This is just a quick little pullback to the 21 and popped here and now pulled back the last couple of days. So above that 131.82, it's go time for me. And then Sweet Green's another one that I like in this group. This one's got more of a pronounced, base on base pattern here, the cup with handle. Pull back near its 10 today. Yeah, pull back to its 10. So that's definitely looks like it's going to get ready to do its thing here pretty soon. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all of these names here. There's just a lot of them. This is Wingstop pulling back to its 50. I don't like it below the 400, but there's another one that I do like, Texas Roadhouse. This one is on our ready list. Pulled back to the 21 today. So let's see if it finds support and pops there, huh? What do you think? A little wedging action here. Let's see if it can pop above that 180.69. All right. I'm going to move on. I did mention DoorDash. It's just kind of strange. Yeah, the leisure stocks are doing well and the yeah, staying at home. This one looks great. It had the cup with handle, ran up to that 146, forming this little shelf pattern here as it pulls back or allows the moving averages to catch up. So I'm looking for a pop from DoorDash. I did mention the cruise line, CCL. These things look fantastic. Carnival Cruise Line, the Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line. These things are, making new highs. This one made a new high pull back today. Viking, I believe I have this one on my ready list as well. Yeah, this nice IPO base here. This looks really nice. Here at 37.25. A little pullback here on the weekly. No. Yeah, it's up 2% this week. Not bad. Still looks good though, and I think it's going to move higher. Anyway, I'm going to move on to, oh yeah, the Live Nation. So, tickets, going to shows and stuff. Yeah, looks great. And then the Sphere in Las Vegas. Nice cup with handle, pull back below the 50. Let's see it trade above that one. All right, what else do I have? Oh, and booking, right? The booking stocks. Yeah, so this one's pulled back to its 21 and popped higher. So it's just kind of strange that you'd see that. The restaurant stock's doing well, the booking travel stock's doing well, the DoorDash, but anyway, um, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Except for in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have one more thing to talk about, and it has to do with the semiconductor names. First of all, AEHR Air Systems reported after the bell today, and you can see this one's been in a steep downtrend, but it's up more than 11% after hours on that earnings report. So, it's a small stock, so it's a $386 million, it's a micro cap stock, so it's not going to drive the AMD and the NVDA and the Qualcomm or the semiconductor index, but it's just something to note that it is going to trade above its moving averages tomorrow here around $15. So just wanted to point that out. And the last thing I wanted to point out is, I love Lisa Su, great CEO. One of my favorites of all time, not up there with Steve Jobs, but and she's celebrating a 10-year anniversary at AMD. She started there in October of 2014. I just wanted to point out, people are saying, oh, they announced new products today and it was a dud. The stock didn't do anything, pulled back, what, 4%. Just give it some time. I just got to commend Lisa Su because in 10 years, she's delivered 5,763% appreciation for the shareholders of AMD. I'm sure they're thrilled with that. Is she going to be able to reproduce that performance in the next 10 years? Probably not. I feel safe in saying that, but it's still going to be a quality stock. Those products that they announced today, they're going to sell. They're going to do well. AMD's fine. They pulled back to its 200 today, but it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. And if you look at how it's performed since Lisa Su's been there against, say, like some of the, the index, like the Nasdaq or the SPY. Thank you very much. Dwarfing the indexes, and even the semiconductor index, which has had nearly a 900% gain, just dwarfing it. So congratulations to Lisa Su at AMD. She's done a hell of a job, and she should be commended and celebrate her 10 years there at AMD. And I just got to go to the weekly chart here. It had this big run up and now pulled back, and the chart's a little choppy. And if you're, a swing trader, this is, it hasn't been the best stock here recently, but you look over time. And when Lisa Su started, like Lisa Su was hired as CEO here, and it dipped a little bit after but man, after she got it rolling, and I just showed you the appreciation, and this kind of looks like a cup with a handle right here in the monthly from 2021. We had our bear market, then it ran up, now it pulled back. So don't count her out, just because they had a bad day today. Heard a lot of negative stuff. I'm just going like, you guys are nuts. This is a great company. They're going to do well. And sometimes, it's just, sell the news event. So give it time. Those products will sell. They have an earnings report on the 29th, and, they're going to give forward guidance. They need to do a little better than, 9% sales growth. But like I said, give them time. I think, and during this AI revolution, it's going to take a lot of time, and AMD is going to be one of the beneficiaries, as well as, I got to mention Broadcom, one of my favorite stocks as well. Just right there at that buy point there. So anyway, that's it for me this time for real. At mcstockcharts.com, we never, ever give up. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.